Well, good morning. It's showing here I'm live and I have no camera. That's what I've been going through all night. I'm so not happy and I'm clueless. I am so upset. No camera. This is bull. Damn it. I got live chat, maybe. I don't even know if my microphone's working, so I'm going to keep putzing around here so I can get this goddamn thing open. I mean, I've got some stuff to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about it blind and you can't see me. Uh, Integrity. What is the value of your integrity? Kind of strange question, you know? And what, besides, besides the value, is there a value to your integrity? What would you give up for your integrity? Um, do you even know what integrity is? It's going through all these questions. Trying to find the camera. Last night, my mind getting ready for this. Regardless of how bad this my live streaming really is, I actually attempt to put some effort into it and be ready. And it would be a lot better if this crap worked, you know? There's one of those streaming services I just about signed up to yesterday, last night. Where in the hell sound? No. Where the hell's my camera? And I didn't. Because lately I've been copping these weird attitudes. And I mean, it's kind of like what worries me is my old self. And that's not a good thing. Um, anyhow, so I'm on this site and it's free, or it's kind of free, I guess you should say. Video. What's that mean? Stream HDR video and it's off. Um, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I was just talking about. We're not in video playback. XSplit broadcasting is backwards, and I don't have that. Well, hang in there, kids, if you're there. I'm here. I was just about ready to get to what I wanted to talk about, and it apparently didn't come out. Um, it's important, though. This is, um, what thumbnail? The one you're not letting me? And you don't. Um, Offline. I'm not even. This one doesn't even show me online. Uh, but integrity. At what value do you put on your integrity? Do you have integrity? Do you even know what it is? Um, I think that's something that um, it may be lost or being lost. Integrity. It's it's something that's semi-taught, but it's integrity is something. I don't know. It's something that's got to be part of your soul. It's got to be there to begin with before it can be taught. Um, a lot of my integrity, I can credit my grandfather for. I believe. Um, welcome back. You still have questions about live streaming? You got to be fucking kidding me. This is public people. Well, hang on there. I'm gonna see if I can get that steak horn back or whatever. Um, steak horn. I don't know. No, I don't want to leave. But integrity, you know, uh, are you a person of your word? Do you stand by your word? Is there any value? Do you put value in you? I think, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, you're still there, I think. These are all good questions. And Stag 10, that was the one. I can get to this website now. What is it? Stag 10. What the fuck? Stage 10. Gotcha. Stage 10. Stage 10. Fucking works. There it goes. Thank you. What the hell's... No, Jesus Christ. Is stage 10? What's the name of that? Yeah, here it is. I get so frustrated. An individual. Yes, yes, thank you. At least you're going right. That's good. What the hell? Yes, I want that. Oh, fucking passwords. I probably got it wrong. I mean, every day. No. Don't even say it. You're lucky. You're lucky. Yes, yes, you got it all. Just do it all. Oh, when I was on with these people, Josh, I think his name is, was on there. Oh, God damn it. You got to be fucking kidding me. What the fuck? Page 10. You think I'm losing it? Not enough sleep? I need to kick back. I need to talk about this. What? What's the fucking problem now? Very nice. Okay. I can't upgrade now. Where are you, Stake 10? No shit. How did you get 4 of you up there? Close all other stay 10s. What the fuck do you open them all for? Your free thing's starting to piss me off. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got a microphone. Where do we get the camera? That's me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, please tell me we're not. Okay. Are we live? How the hell am I supposed to know that? Let's go. It says I'm live. Good morning. If that is true, it's been some time getting here. And it is 7 o'clock. I started 9 hours. I started at late evening and just finally now got on. So good morning. And we've got Asmat Sees It. What channel are we on? It's supposed to be the Matthew Braden channel. Anyhow, back up with the thing about Josh. I believe that's his name. Josh was on here. And I'm looking around the site here, and it's really nice. Easy. I get lost in that OBS one. Months ago, a guy came on in the middle of the night and helped me through it, and he got me going. And I did a couple of live streams, and then got busy or tired or whatever it was, and just didn't do them for a while. When I came back, I could not remember. And by the time I deleted it just a couple of days ago, you wouldn't even recognize it. I had screwed it up so much. So I was looking for a new one, and I can't remember if I saw these guys in a video or it was a search on some search, and there's a bunch of them, and they're listed number 1. Were they? Yeah. And right now I got to go free. We'll get into that when we start talking about my integrity. But now I'm looking around, and all of a sudden I see the thing on water spots, watermarks. And I don't know where I got this attitude from, but I don't do other people's watermarks. Bear with me. And that goes back to Filmora, the editing software. I spent this is all new to me. I am so old school that black and white TV, is a great innovation. And I worked and got my first video done, and it was like 18 seconds. And I finally get it on YouTube, and it starts playing, and the watermark is it's like a train going through the whole the little video. Totally wrecked it, and that's why I put my foot down on watermarks. I mean, it was so disappointing. So much work, and the damn watermark took over the video. It was just it's one thing to have a little watermark and get your free advertising in, but I don't think that's the way to do it personally. I think uh, you give somebody the free software to use, and if they become extremely good at it and popular, and they promote, um, they're being promoted, and they stick with you. Obviously, they're going to promote your website, what they're using, what's made them um, famous, like I'll be one day. um, and these whoever let them use their stuff for free gets paid back sometimes. And that'll bring us right into integrity. If you have integrity, you do that stuff for the people you do. So after I had my little fit, and I mean, actually told them, the help screen would come on, and I told them, I mean, like, who the hell do I think I am? I don't do water screens. Bye. Maybe when I get money, I'll see you. Just a real ass. And, I'm sure he spent sleepless hours last night over it. I mean, I did, but I don't expect that he did. Um, and I got an email from him. It says, "Oh well, sucks to be you," um, and rightfully so. Anyhow, this thing about integrity. Um, why is today's topic, and why I'm asking the value of it? If you have a value, if you know what integrity is, um, it's one of the, if not the most important aspects of my life, pieces of who I am today. I lived a long time without any integrity, no moral compass. Um, cared about one person, me, and if I gave my word to do on something today, um, it doesn't necessarily mean tomorrow it's going to be there or I'm going to follow through. And something's happened. Something's happened. Anybody that knows me knows that. Number one, that I'm still alive, which is a miracle in itself. Um, God has purpose for me. Steve Martin, I got purpose. Um, uh, where am I going with this? Oh, my God is just a wonderful person. Yeah, or she gave me that gift of free choice. And I sure free choice did a lot. And I did not do well in free choice. Again, only by the grace of God am I sitting here today because of choices I made. And thank God I made them, or I wouldn't be sitting here today. I guess you got to look at the whole picture, look at it all the way around. Excuse me. But as I was sober enough, and I'm not talking about recently. It was I've been sober enough more than, oh, I've been sober 10 times as long as I drank, um, easily, but it wasn't all in a row. I would drink. I was a sporadic drinker. That kept me. I had a counselor tell me that, and that kept me out of alcoholism for years. But I drink, get drunk, get in trouble, sober up. I could hit a year, 2 years. I had 5 years. I had 10 years. Um, get drunk, sober up, and do it again. Today, I don't have to do that. Anyhow, where was all that going? Oh, as you continually go into these recovery programs, trying to quit, buying into all their bullshit. I'm sorry, all their crap that alcoholism is a disease. Um, oh, I bought into that too. I mean that's a good alcoholics line, is it's a disease. Um, and the other one is caregivers. Everybody's a caregiver to an alcoholic. If you weren't so nice, I wouldn't drink. I couldn't drink. It's all bullshit. It gets a lot of people through recovery, but it's a pile of crap. Uh, They tell you in recovery, willpower won't get you sober. Willpower won't keep you sober. Willpower has no place in recovery. That's the only place it has. Without willpower, you're lost. You're sunk. What's that got to do with integrity? And as I continue through these treatment programs, and these treatment programs are making a killing, a bundle off of giving you a bowl of cereal in the morning and a burger at night, and sending you to AA. And if you're unlucky, they'll have a meeting with you and try to fix you. Oh Lord, I don't know how I ever came out of that. They're all experts. Half of them aren't drunks, aren't alcoholics, and if you haven't walked in my shoes, you haven't walked in my shoes. Don't tell me how they fit. Anyhow, as you continue to go to these programs, you pick up things, and over the years, honesty became part of my life. Integrity became part of my life. Never did get too close to that cleanliness, but godliness got into my life. And if you're good and you allow this stuff, it actually takes control. Thank God for me. And today, integrity for me is my best attribute. If it isn't, it should be. Boy, it would kill me. It kills me if I can't live up to my word. If I make an agreement with you, and I don't carry through on it, regardless of what it does to you or how you feel about it, it just rips me apart. And that's years and years coming, and developing it and learning how to be honest, follow through. And this is all bringing us to what's going on today. Years ago, I was a steam fitter, got hurt at work. Thank God for the safety guys. And anybody that works construction hates these guys. And I did too. But he saw me bending down and walking funny, and I'd blown my back out. And he said, well, came up, and he actually forced me into writing an accident report. And I said, oh no, this happens all the time. I'll be just fine. We're leaving early on a Friday. And that's how I hurt my back. Was I was a fitter on this job, and the welder was a gentleman of Mexican descent, out of the Chicago local. Great welder. Just a great guy. And he wasn't going to run home for the weekend. He's going to stay up in Madison. You're putting a power plant in. And make the big money. He'll take his 4th of July weekend off. But we, on overtime and double overtime and stuff, we made some huge money. At that time, fitters were paid $55 an hour, and we're talking over 10 years ago. Crazy. I've known a couple of fitters that were worth that money, but 99% of them aren't. I never was. The rest of us that aren't worth that kind of money are good, solid $20 an hour guys. We can do everything the job calls for. We're not exceptional. Most of these guys have it in them to work, but they don't work. The union doesn't allow you to work. Anyhow, we'll talk about that union stuff some other day. Point is, I hurt my back. I don't know. I got lost there. And it's all got to do with integrity, and I'm trying to tie it back together. And that tangent took me away. Hmm. But oh, okay. That job, that's where I blew my back out. Um, the safety guy writes up the safety thing. I get home and crawled out of my truck. Um, I still had the farm out the western part of the state uh, with Helen, and her grandmother was there. Tilly was there that weekend, or that it would have been the weekend, Friday. Get home and I don't know, putzed around. It took it pretty slow because the bad back and everything. And seeing if anybody's here. No. And woke up the next morning, and I'm always used to be an early riser. Now I just don't go to bed so I don't have to rise. I take like 3 steps, get out of the bedroom, and I hit the ground. My back just gave out, and I hit the ground. It buckled my knees. And the pain was severe. I pull myself over the fireplace, across the living room, crawl up on there. I don't know if I mean, I'm such a coffee junkie. I don't know if I made coffee or not, but I remember sitting on the fireplace, and finally the pain was just so intense. I had to wake up Helen, and we had to get to the emergency room. And that's all she wrote. I'd never made it back to work. Called the union guy, the union rep, Fran, on that Monday. Told him what happened, and that was the last contact I had with the union, except when I called to figure out how I'm going to get my pension. And you got to work there 5 years to be vested. I had worked there for over that. And, um, he informs me that I was 300 hours short of being fully vested, and I get nothing. So the union walked away with 5 years worth of my retirement money. And not one union person has ever contacted me, ever tried to. I've been by the union. I take back. On the early days, I I was getting treated in Madison. I stopped by and saw Fran a couple times, but it was always it's the hurt guy. Uh, but I got full disability out of it. So anyhow, the I was on the workers' comp for over 3 years. They finally bailed or put an end to healing, they call it, and I got awarded a nice little sum. And it was kind of like the injury um, lazy assholes dream about. It was the ultimate injury, 100% disabled, so well documented that I've never was called in test. I never had to requalify, and got a good chunk of money. I took a huge loss because I was kind of messed up in the head, and Helen left me, and um, I took a settlement that was intended to give to her because I was leaving. I was very suicidal in a couple attempts, and luckily I made it through there. But my money, I had a drastically reduced. But anyhow, then it was court ordered. The settlement was court ordered and put in mutual funds or whatever. My money was heavily placed. Was heavily funded. I heavily funded um, the real estate market. The those bad mortgages. Was it 07, 08? That in that kind of pipe when we had the big uh, crash. And Friday, it was a Friday. I called my broker, and I said, I'm very uncomfortable with where the money is. And I've got this feeling I've been hearing, picking up on stuff. And I, uh, I really think we should move it out of that and put it into just bank stock or 90-day um, CDs or what, just where it's real safe. Just get it out of there. And his reply was, well, yeah, I don't know. I've heard a lot of rumors, but let's give it the weekend. um, we'll take a look at it Monday, and if you still feel that way, and if there's any changes to substantiate your feelings, by all means, we'll move it. It's your money. Well, over the weekend, my money went from a very nice, tidy sum that should have taken me through the rest of my life to I lost probably, what was it, 65 to 70, 80% of it, down to a pittance. So the pittance was put into the Pell Lake House with the idea and the concept and the purpose of protecting um, my settlement. And this settlement was a non taxable. It wasn't for loss of wages. It wasn't for it wasn't income from any way, shape, or form. It was payment for pain and suffering and future medical bills. And technically, this is supposed to be protected, and it's supposed to be protected in the house. But those people are long gone, and for me to prove it, I can't. Anyhow, uh, believe me, it'll tie into integrity here any minute now, and the cost of it, at least for me today. Um, I get the Pell Lake House, and I found this place up here on the lake. I always wanted a lake house, I don't know. There again, I was kind of overstepping my white trash boundaries, but I've got a nice lakefront, nice swamp front home up here, and don't get me, I love it. I love it, and couldn't get Pell Lake sold when I moved up here, and I couldn't afford to keep one place vacant, although I had for 3 years almost. Um, so I got it rented and to a nice young couple, young 30s, 40s, kids in high school, and they were teachers, or she was, and he was going to school, and never even met him. Realtor found him for me, and we put him in there. And it was about a year later that I finally met him. And up until last June, I really thought God had blessed me with the tenants from heaven. Um, not a problem. Some issues happened in the house, and I'd go down there and fix them. Their rent was paid almost always on time. If there was going to be a problem or an issue, they would call, and just great. I mean, every time I'd have to go down there and fix something, the house was immaculate. There was nothing about this couple and their kids that put flags up for me. Well, last winter, they'd ask if I was, and they would sign the leases 3 years in advance. And we had one coming up, and they asked me if I was still willing to give them another 3 years, because they definitely want to stay. Minimum is till the kids are out of high school. And I said, absolutely. And because we're going another big chunk, I'm still not going to increase the price. Normally you get a rent increase every year, every 2 or 3. And I had no worries. My life was, if you could have a perfect life, my life was pretty perfect. Was getting a good rent for, good house. And I wasn't getting rich, but my bills were paid mostly. I've been never good with money, but it was a good time was had by all. And about this time, what is this, March, probably, um, I had to go down there and do some, the, the, the shower was leaking in the bathtub and we couldn't find the leak. It would leak, they'd call me and I run down there and it wouldn't leak and we couldn't find out where it was coming from. And I mean, I spent a couple hours with water running, and you can't fix something you can't find to fix. So I button her back up and, call me when it leaks again and try to get pictures. And eventually we found out where it was. And it was pretty simple. Anyhow, I won't bore you with plumbing. The point is, there was never any indication that anything was going to be wrong or that was that I should suspect anything. It was this time. I was down there, and the husband wasn't around, and I usually talk to him occasionally, and then I got called down. I guess I'm a little ahead of myself. It was still midwinter. Um, I think it was around Christmas or New Year's. I get a call, and the basement's flooded. A pipe broke in the basement, and it was flooding it, and they got it. Apparently, the son's girlfriend was watching the house, and she called her dad or whatever, and they got it called the village. Everybody, they got it shut right down. The sub pumps worked, no damage, except the village's water meter split. So I get down there the following morning. My nephew had went over and kind of oversaw the work. I've got great nieces and nephews. When they can, they really help me out. So I get down there, and a couple $100 to replace the valve. And in the basement, I follow the heating ducts, and there's only 2 ducts in this basement. The furnace is in there, and they got 2 ducts. One has tinfoil over it, rubber band on so it can't blow out. The other one actually has a inline valve on it that was shut off. There's no heat going in the basement, and somehow one of the basement windows were broke, and it was laying wide open in sub-zero weather. No wonder it broke. Apparently, what they said, the tenant said, was the furnace guy had broke the window and never fixed it. Well, I know the furnace guy. I would really be surprised if that's really what happened, because my furnace guy is excellent. But it is what it is. So I buttoned that up. I insulated up that window. Cleaned up all the water, mopped it, got it all ready for him. And what I guess what they never realized was that one was on them. I've done a lot of work. I replaced stuff, but that was total tenant neglect. I mean, you've got to, when you rent a place, you have to keep sufficient heat. And all said and done with the furnace guy coming over and stuff, it was about a $600 bill. And so that was just tucked away in my books. So I after that, that's when I get the call and said, because I had gone to the house to fix something, and the parents or in-laws, one of them, were there and mentioned that they were down out southwest and that the husband was working out there, and there's a chance they're moving out. And I'm thinking, this is the first I heard of it. So I do what I had to do. I go home, and it's about a week, maybe 2 later, that the the husband calls because apparently they found, the in-laws or the parents um, told him that accidentally they spilled the beans. So he informs me. He says, "Yeah, there's a chance we may have to move because there's no work for me around here." He went back to school and got, I believe it was a master's in teaching. Um, he, he got overeducated without the experience. You see it happen all the time, but he couldn't get. Nobody's willing to. He could get jobs, but not at the rate his degree would demand. But he didn't have the experience to back up the wage. Yep. So he couldn't get the employment he wanted up here, but out in the Southwest, there's some state down there had a real hardship on teachers, and they hired him at rate. And and he says, I got all my resumes out, and I'm certain I'm going to get something up there because we don't want to leave. We love the house. We want to stay there. We don't want to upset the kids. And he says, I don't have to make a decision for a couple of weeks anyhow. So, don't worry about it. Well, I didn't. And a couple of weeks go by, and I get the next call is we're moving on the 26th of June. And I was upset. I mean, I didn't take it out on them, but it upset me that they were going to break the lease. And I was a little mad, but I got over it quick. I mean, it's just a guy and his wife trying to do the best they can for their family. Life got in the way, as it does with all of us. And by the time it came to move, and he had called me up and said, "Well, how do we do this? How is this going to be handled?" And I said, "Well, you move out, and I'll come down and inspect the house, and you get your deposit back as regard, however you leave the house." And he said, "Oh, I'm certain we're going to get it all back." And I said, "I really believe you are, but I will be down and walk through the house alone, and I'll assess it. And I really think I'll have the check out to you the next day. It should be waiting for you when you get to your new home." And he was okay with that. And turns out he came back a month early, and I'm down there working, I'm doing all this stuff. And so, and we're in phone contact, and I asked him about the yard. Right before they were leaving, have you taken care of the yard this spring? And yeah, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. And the day they left, I think he called from the road, and I said, "Am I going to have any surprises when I get down there? You might as well tell me now because it'll give me time to work into it." He said, "No, everything's fine. There was a little bit more garbage than we had anticipated, but we've got all stacked up, and it's overflowing on the cans a little bit. But we talked to the garbage guy; it's all covered. It's all taken care of." And boys will be boys, so that's where the knife holes come from. Them throwing knives in the kitchen. Excuse me. Yeah, they're just boys. Kids will be kids. So these are high school kids, a little too old to be throwing knives around. So, and the way he was laughing it off, and so I figured it wasn't a big deal. Well, they were throwing knives in the kitchen. It was. Thank God they weren't my kids. Well, thank God I don't have kids. I mean, that would be a mess. But I got down there. I wasn't feeling well the next day or two, and I didn't think there was a big rush to get down there because they're going to get the checks back. It was a disaster. I went through it, and I sat down and cried. I mean, holes in the wall. I bought him a brand new dishwasher because the brand new one that I put in when they moved in had leaked or something and caused a small something happened to it. We called the repair place in. They came, fixed it, and didn't put it back right or something, and flooded out. And it wasn't anything to do with the machine, but for their comfort, I bought a brand new dishwasher for them. Well, when I opened it up after they left, it looks like they were washing dead dogs in there or something. I can't explain the grease filth that was in there. And it took weeks and weeks and weeks to get this cleaned out. And then brand new refrigerator. It's all busted. All the plastic inside's busted up, like somebody's climbing on it. Missing shelves, missing drawers. I mean, I can go on and thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of damage. Don't have thousands of dollars worth of damage. So I had to dig into my credit cards and take the advances. I had to get this house up and going again and rented right away, because the last time I had to refinance it, turn the note, my credit was never good, and there was no way I could have refinanced it anyplace else because it hadn't gotten better. And this bank, Harvard State Bank, I'm going to name them. They're the ones that are doing this. Screw it. Screw them. They, at this point, don't screw them because Phil really went to bat, rewrote the loan, got it rewritten, and now he's like the head guy there. And maybe I've gone through it twice, but we reworked it. And the last time he said, I cannot rewrite this loan the next time. It's when you took out this home equity loan, you took it out in your residence, and now it's a business because it's a rental unit, and we're not structured. We don't do those loans, or we're not doing them, or whatever. He said, I'm not going to be able to rewrite it again. You'll have to get it written correctly, and we don't do those loans, which will be coming up next year. This summer, next summer, it's coming up. So over the last few years, with the tenants, thousands of dollars worth of damage, painting. I mean, so these last few years, I have been credit score conscious. I don't know why this concept took me 60 years to figure out, but I would get my paycheck in, or my disability check in. My money would come in, and I'd pay off my bills first. This is the concept I never understood. I'd get my bills paid off, and then what was left was what I could spend. What a concept. I never looked at life that way. I always paid myself first, and for some reason it was never enough after that to pay everybody off, so it was always chasing. So anyhow, I went from being able to get a loan here or there, and they were I was always in the questionable credit. We'll give you a chance, but you're going to pay the interest for that chance. So over the last couple of years, I went from 300 and 400 up to, by now I would have been in the 700s. It was that quick. Just every month, it was huge jumps because I did get some credit cards. I've got the Bell Lake house payments, the house up here payments, everything's on time. Everything's just like clockwork. New truck, boom, clock. I could get whatever I wanted. And I did it specifically because this banker wasn't going to be able to rewrite the loan, and I wasn't going to make him take me again, and this is where my integrity is starting to come in. And So I made it my mission to be credit worthy this coming year, so there would be no issue when that loan came up. I could thank Phil for a nice run and get on with my life, and be grateful for what he did for me. Well, with fixing Pell Lake and getting that house done, um, and having to put every penny in there because the house has got to be up, looking good, rentable, safe, all the things you look for in a rental. And my health and ambition and abilities aren't what they were even a year ago. I can barely tolerate the drive down back to Lake Geneva, back up here. I have a hard time making it one stretch anymore. I wind up falling asleep on the road, and it's criminal. So I don't even try to make it one stop one trip anymore. It's 2 or 3 stop for coffee and whatever it takes. The minute I start feeling drowsy, I'll pull over. Last fall when I came back, I had left it. I worked like 2 nights, worked nonstop down in Pell Lake, and just pushed my body to way beyond reason. All crippled up. Was going to drive home. Went to my mother's, sat down on the couch, and we were talking. And she said, mid sentence, I just fell asleep, and she left me there. I came to it like 4 o'clock in the morning. Felt pretty good. Made some coffee. Got in the truck, and keep in mind that we're only talking 100 miles away, 2 hours. It took me over 8 hours to get home. I couldn't go but 5 miles, and I'd be out again. Weird, something's going on there. But so my trips are they're tough on me. But I had to get down there. Plus, with my Social Security for income, money was tight, and I have to buy supplies. There wasn't any money left, and as a result, this house and keeping my word to this gentleman put all my other debts off, my other payments off, and all of a sudden, perfect payments. To all of a sudden I start missing them because now I got to balance them, and all of a sudden, because I'd have to buy the materials, the bigger bills started coming on the credit cards, and now I can't pay anybody, and I've got to keep up with the insurance. Number one, I got to keep insurance on them, on the houses, and just my normal expenses eat up my disability check without paying the mortgages, without paying. And I followed bad advice also. I had all my credit cards put into one of these companies that negotiate for you, and somehow I'm still not sure quite how it happened. I wound up having a couple $100 every month now taken out of my checking account, which I don't have. But you add that on. That was the money that was going between everybody else, and now it just goes to all the credit cards. But my mortgages weren't paid, couldn't get paid. There's no money, and my truck's not getting paid. And I'm sitting here today, and I never gave up working and keeping Pell Lake up, because it's got to be. Well, it was about fall time where I was so far behind on everything. Renting was no longer an option. I couldn't rent it and catch up. So now it's got to be for sale. And the market, and I'm sure, I was greedy, just like, everybody else down there. That Fox Valley thing, this big factory or something was being built, and hundreds of jobs. The housing market was going to be, they're going to be desperate for housing. So My rent was high. I was able to boost it up, and property values just went through the roof. And I had mine listed. Mine was listed, and I'll fight this to the death. It's listed correctly. Um, there are homes, 3-bedroom homes, 2 baths or more, that are higher than mine, but they're better. They're nicer houses, but they are extremely higher than mine. Then I'm in the middle, and I'm in the middle with 1 or 2 other houses similar to mine, and then the 3 bedrooms, 2 baths go down to 1,200 square feet, where apparently mine's 1,900, and it's unique. It's got 2. It's not even getting shown. Nothing's moving, just dead. And then it got to the point where I got to move cash somehow, so we put it back up for rent, and never got calls. But this is the funny part. When the tenants left, I put it up on myself for rent, and I had calls every week, and had 8 or 10. I had so many, I got uncomfortable interviewing and hired a realtor, because I was afraid I'd discriminate somehow. And I mean, not bad discrimination. I think my house, the Pell Lake house, is a great house for a family. It needs a family in there. And I don't know if you can, I'm not looking for kids. I'm not looking for singles. I want a committed relationship with kids in there. I don't know why after, what just happened, but it's a house that screams family. It's got 2 living areas, and I mean, it's just wonderful. So I got the realtor, and it's like nobody's interested. Once in a while, maybe there'd be a thing, somebody interested in rent. A few months would go by, I'd get all mad, and I would repost it in Zillow, and you'd post it in that one place, and it goes all over. And I get it on Craigslist, and all of a sudden, a handful of people are interested in it, and I refer them to the realtor, and nothing comes of it. And I don't know. I don't know what happened. I find it peculiar, is all I'm going to say. So then finally, still I'm having trouble. Nobody's getting paid. I'm all these days and days and days behind, and I'm doing the best I can. I'm eating white rice. That's all I'm eating. I went down to 150 pounds. That was, I guess, actually, that was about the start of this. I lost all that weight in the beginning. And finally, right after the New Year's, we get an offer. I was down there working because midwinter, late fall, early winter, I was told that the reason it wasn't selling was there was no curb appeal. Well, early on, when I was coming down and doing other repairs, I said, I've got all these flowers. I can do all this stuff and really make this thing look cute. And, oh, you don't want that. Who's going to water? No, don't do it. Which is where you get curb appeal. Well, I built window boxes, flower boxes, and took them down there in the midst of a snowstorm, and wound up working 4 days nonstop. Or was it 5? It was crazy. And repainted the bathrooms. The realtor, I don't blame her. I had a red bathroom, kind of a dark red, and at the time it looked good, but I can see why it wouldn't be everybody's choice. So I finally painted that and repainted bedrooms, and went to the boys' bedroom, and just must never have been there in the light that I saw it in. They had spray painted graffiti all over the walls, and I didn't know it. You couldn't see it. They'd repainted it poorly, but I was in there. It must have been at night with bad light, or and you could see the reflection of the graffiti in there. So I had to repaint that room, and holes in the wall. Somebody kicked. There was a sign that said something about mess, and it was supposed to be cute and funny. And I walked around it for weeks, and finally I was doing. I was going to go start repairing holes, and this was hanging on the wall, about 1.5 feet, 2 foot up, with a thumbtack. So, and that's, you're not, when you rent, you don't put thumbtacks in the wall. You don't hang pictures with nails. Each one of them are like $50. If you do, if you do that at my house, that's what you get charged. So I'm going through, cleaning this up, pull the thumbtack off of this little sign. And it's one tin sign, like 12 by 16, 12 by 18. They're all over. It's hiding a hole that was kicked in the drywall. I mean, huge. And just as slow, but no. So anyhow, I guess we're over. You understand that this house was intentionally messed, left. It was a disaster. All the garbage. I spent hours picking up glass. They took all this glass out there and threw it out there. Glass frames and picture frames and everything, and they're all broke. So we'll get back to a couple were driving by. It was like the last day I was down there. My nephew was over talking, and they'd back up and go by, back up, and we waved them in and said, if you want to look at the house, it's open. Go ahead and look at it. And I don't know if these are the same people that put the offer in, but they really liked it. And I said, well, you go talk to the realtor. There's her, all her information's out there, and tell her, I let you in. You saw the house, and she'll treat you right. She'll do a good job for you. Well, I got a offer that was. They started out with the lowest I was prepared to go, and I accepted it. And another agent, this just burned me from the get-go. Sticks this insurance policy on the house, on the appliances. It costs like $500, and somehow they get it that I'm, in the offer that I'm going to pay this insurance thing. No. Where did this come from? Number one, because this insurance package came out back when I was a broker in Darien, and I wouldn't let it in my agency. I said, no, we're real estate agents. These guys here, they sell real estate. They work for me. I sell insurance over here, but I don't sell appliance insurance for the house. Upland Real Estate sells real estate. We don't sell toaster insurance, and it's a conflict of interest. I believe you get a seller in, you're charging them whatever you're charging them. Back then it was like 6% or more. And that's how you make your living, not screwing your seller every which way you can, loading up his end of it. The real people in real estate today forget. I mean, so many people, doctors, when I come and hire you, I come and hire you to work for me. I'm not working for you. You do what I say. I hire you for your knowledge and your suggestions. I was a broker. I know real estate. I got out of it because I could make more money as a layman versus being a real estate agent. And with the house where it was better. I just stayed away from it, stayed in the back. Anyhow, I wind up. I finally said, "Fine, with this offer, I can live with it, and I will accept, and I'll pay for the damn insurance." Well, then they had an inspection, and they come back with an amended offer with all this crap. And this inspector should be hung by his whatever. And now we're going to get into the integrity part, more so, kind of. I was going to accept it. We're a big chunk off the listed price now, a big chunk away for nonsense. And they wanted me to, I can't remember, it was $10,000 or $15,000 off for a handful of thousand, maybe, of work. Not even that. I could have went out and got 90% of it done in a weekend. But I'm pressured into it because if I don't sign and the bank doesn't get money, they're going to foreclose. I have no money. I need to get the bank covered. I need to get my other bills covered. But still, I wasn't going to sign it. We're either going to negotiate or there will be another buyer coming through. I had done a lot of work with the window boxes. It took it was a plain looking house. Now it's got a little cutesy to it. Another couple weeks, we'll see what happens today. But I've got flowers planted in the greenhouse, and I love doing landscaping. So if I still own it in a month, it's going to be cute. It's going to look nice. It's going to be ready. We're going to get back. I'll get the market value. That's all I want. I'll get close to market value. But it sounds funny because the banker, between the banker with the threats of not signing it, we're going to foreclose. I was bullied into signing it. I got over it. I signed it. I got over it. I was still okay. I just didn't have the money I will need to stay here long term. And then, was there 2 reductions? It came close to the second time. I absolutely wasn't going to sign it. But again, I was threatened with foreclosure. And once they start, it's going to be dominoes. My other people have been so kind and so considerate. They understand. It sounds crazy, but I'm the victim here. I had to go out, not because I didn't have to. I could have left it at a dump and given it away, but I had to repair it. I wasn't responsible for the damage, but I was responsible for correcting it. And everybody seems to understand that, except now the Harvard State Bank. So we're going into closing, 2 days away. They back out. The buyers back out. And this is after I had this huge reduction. And when my agent called me and told me that, at first, deep down, I'm thinking, all right, let's get back on track. Well, I kind of ask her about it, how it went down. And apparently they can't, their story is they can't sell their trailer, mobile home trailer park thing, because there's a mix-up on something with the title, and it'll take up to 10 weeks to close before they can get back to closing. And so they're done. They're out. And I told them I offered I'd take a second for the price of the trailer. The price would go back up a little bit, but I would cover them. They can still get the house. They can still move in. When you sell the trailer, you pay me, and anything left over at a reasonable interest rate, I'll finance it for the next year or two. You still get your house. Nope, not interested. They didn't want an extension. They didn't want the house. but they were willing to split the earnest money with me. I said, "Oh yeah, the earnest money. Um, Actually, we don't have to split it. It's yours. You bring me this. You know what I told my agent to explain. You bring me a letter from your bank stating they are not, because there's a financing contingency, that they refuse to finance you the, I think their financing was for the $180,000 on this house or any other house for the next 6 months. We haven't got it because you can't do what they did. I mean, they put a lot of money into this. Also, they paid for the inspection, the appraisal, the house appraised out, um, the bank. Oh, that's right. They postponed it for a week or two. They were supposed to close, and I gave them the reduced rate because they had to close by the 1st. So I didn't get hit for a whole nother stock of bills. La da 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 da. Well, they didn't, and never wound up never closing. So, long story short, they're gone, but the earnest money is still here, and they broke the covenants between us, whatever you would call it. They broke the deal, and it wasn't due to financing, or the bank would have had a denial letter, turning them down specifically for whatever reasons, and it was their performance reasons. It wasn't. They didn't complete something which was completable, so they chose not to continue to finance it, and that makes the earnest money mine. No, it doesn't, because if I didn't give it to the bank, they're going to start foreclosure. Okay, well, it hasn't come yet. I said, okay, fine. When it comes, it's yours. I really don't have a problem with it. When it comes, it's yours. As long as you're going to stop foreclosure. Yeah, we won't foreclose on you. Well, then mysteriously, an offer comes within 2 days. It's $50,000 less than my original listed price. 50,000 less, and a huge amount less than the least I'd ever take. And it's a take it or leave it, financial contingency only. Boom. No, I didn't even respond to it. After it had expired, my agent asked me, what you gonna do? I said, I'm more than happy to look over a reasonable offer, but don't insult me ever again like that. Well, mysteriously, the banker calls, and I've already questioned these two on my confidentiality. The banker knows too much about the business going on, and my agent, my banker are talking more than I talk to either one of them. This offer comes, and if I don't accept this lowball offer, which puts me in, I can get most of my bills paid, but I can not recover, and I've got to move out of here. And by accepting it would be the start of my financial ruin. And if I don't sign it and accept it, guess what? You're going to foreclose. So I chewed on that. I don't have the money, cash. It's not there. Called my broker, or agent, and accepted that offer, and told her to get, if they're still interested, I will take that offer. And When we get the earnest money, it goes to the bank. So I called the bank and told them I accepted the offer, and if they're still interested, that's where we're at. And she said, how did I put it? That the bank would be very appreciative because of this. And again, I did this because she said they would not foreclose on me. Within minutes, she took and I don't talk to anybody on the phone. Everything's on the computer now. Takes my email down, shows it to the legal department, and I got an email back, and they're going to foreclose starting today. And this is after I was guaranteed if I was willing to accept that offer and they got the earnest money, they wouldn't foreclose. They're foreclosing. I don't understand it. Their paper is less than, it's about a third of the value of the house. They're not at risk. They're still charging insurance or interest, and a good interest rate. Still making money. The only reason I am in the rears, and this goes for all the house up here and the truck, is, I'm not their golden boy customers. All that had to be done is the loan rewritten and change the payment date. I can have that house sold by summer. I mean, 3 more months and it's going to be sold. And it should be sold at value. If not, I've got to sell it. And they will be paid in full. And the only reason I'm late on payments now is because they refused to renegotiate, or they do it all the time with their buddies. They're choosing to destroy my life. And how did this happen? It happened because of my integrity. I would not back off on keeping that house ready to be sold, to move, to pay off these people. It's the most important thing besides my family, my kids, my critters, is living up to my word and fulfilling these contracts, these loans I have. And the money's there. If I sold everything now and got market value or close to it, I would have, after everything's paid off, a couple $100,000 left. I mean, it's not rich. It's all tied up, it's in real estate, in stuff, but it's there, and it's backing up these loans that they gave me all the stuff on. And if they just changed to an annual payment schedule, I wouldn't be late. They'd be getting their interest. Nobody would be in a bind over anything. And everybody would be happy and they'd walk away. I haven't slept in 2 weeks now. I'm so punchy. I'm so sick. And stressed out. I can't live over this threat of foreclosure. I mean, if they would look at my credit score over what happened, you don't get up to almost 700, and in 3 months, and this is what in 3 months was back down to 300. Something not normal has happened. Something not right is going on here. And they have told me, they absolutely, without a doubt, no, this is not my fault. That there wasn't anything I could have done to prevent it. It was poor planning on my part. I take responsibility for all of it because I was a good good landlord to my tenants, but not to my building. I didn't put the money away that should have been put there, but that's hindsight. This is my first rental unit in 50 years. Um, I'll take the blame. You want to blame me? That's fine. Why do you have to crucify? Why do you have to start the end of my life? They're not foreclosing. Um, it's a sentence because I'm 66. I'll be turning 66 years old, disabled, living on a little bit of nothing. I don't have a comeback after this. Um, Whatever it's going to be, however it plays out, there's not a comeback. I don't recover. Um, I don't have the money. I don't have the ability. I don't have the mental stamina to go through a recovery. And they're doing this because they can. It's not because they need to or have to. They're doing it because they want to and they can. It's I believe it's unforgivable. It's not like I'm a flight risk. It's not like I'm um, stashing money, hiding money from them, not paying them because screw them type thing. They get every cent extra that I have, and I don't have it extra. Um, my dogs, my animals all eat. They all got food. Um, the telephone I've kept on. The insurances are paid, and those credit card things are paid, and there's nothing left. There's nothing left for me to go grocery shopping. I mean, I did um, the way that everything kind of fell this month. I was able to actually I went and got groceries. I was able to buy um, another big 10, 12 big pound, big bagel rice. Thank God for rice, or I'd be starved. Um, it's not quite that bad, but
Sorry, I can't resume. Let me know what you'd like to play.
and there's no reason for it. There is no reason for it, and all they have to do is nothing, and they get their money. They're not at risk. Yeah, I'm going to be. I wind up dying from beating my head against the wall because these people are so thick. And it's not that they're thick; they get it, they know, but they're bullies. They're bullies. They've been bullies all their life. And here's a guy that's down that shouldn't be down, and they can't resist kicking me. My 2 weeks ago, I praised this bank because in all these banks, because they were showing the compassion to work with me. Um, and I believe that they know they're smart enough to know that their money's not at risk. It's late. It's not at risk. The bank here in town has jacked up the insurance or the interest rates. I don't know how many times. And the bottom line is, if they file, if and I told them this, I told them this, and I told them this. If they bring in the attorneys, bring other fees involved in this, you leave me with no choice, and they will leave me with no choice but to file bankruptcy, a Chapter 13 reorganization. Harvard State Bank wants that loan out. Well, bless your heart, because you'll get me for the next 5 years, and you won't have a goddamn thing to say about it. You have nothing to say about it. The bank and that little clerk guy, whoever handles those payments, they're in charge. They tell you what to charge. I will be paying you less interest. I'll be paying you less a month. You don't win in this situation. Chapter 13 will bring me out the other end, still owning the rental. I'll be as good, if not better, financial position than I ever have been. And everybody's paid off. Who doesn't get paid off in the 5 years? Because it's going to be 5 years. It can't happen in three. Um, the debts are washed off. Uh, I want to see the debts paid personally. I borrowed the money. I'm not blaming anybody for those debts. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to. Everybody kicks you when you're down. Double and triple and quadruple your interest rates, and just screw them. Well, that firm that's doing my thing, I'm 40. They just settled one for 40%. If they hadn't been dicks, I would have had it settled, or I would have been working for them. But I haven't had the ringers on my phone since before December, back in November, maybe even October. I was getting 40 to 50, 30 calls a day, starting at 8 a.m. and going till 9, 10, 7 days a week. Didn't even give me my holy day. And I finally couldn't take it. I couldn't take it, and I turned off the ringers. I gave them all the same message. They knew exactly what was happening. The minute I get the property sold, you get paid off 100% as long as you don't get stupid. You start throwing all these fees on there, the fight begins. I don't need to support a goddamn lawyer. A lawyer does not need to be brought in here. I don't need to be called and contacted by you on a daily basis to be made to feel like crap because I did what I had to do to get my property up and going so I can pay you back, because it's not like I had nothing on these credit cards or didn't owe the banks anything before this happened, because I did. And the minute the tenants left and I couldn't get it re-rented, I couldn't pay. They were getting reduced amounts, and nothing was going to change until I got Pell Lake sold. And I'm not going to talk to you every week and feel like crap because I can't pay you. And the other thing is the banks do it. Everybody does. All these credit cards, they hound you until you promise something that you can't deliver. And I got hit on that a couple times, and I delivered and got me trouble. Whoever I paid, everybody else got pissed off. It was almost a relief when things kind of settled out and just these people get paid, because it's the insurance, it's what protects the properties, and it's what's going to assure me or assure everybody that the property gets sold. That's got to be paid first. That gets paid and there's nothing left. And I'm not going to talk to you about it. The minute a penny comes in above and beyond that, you get it. You fight over it and you get it. I got a windfall, $70 check from the my old telephone company from years and years ago. It was a co-op, and I can use that money. I can really use that money to do some shopping. I called up the bank here because I told her the next time any money that comes, next money I get is hers. Well, it's the next money I got. She gets that, and hopefully I sell a plow. She'll get that, and then. But the minute one pulls the lawyer crap, they all suffer, because one letter from the lawyer, $1 fee from an attorney that's not mine, we go into bankrupt and they don't see any more money. It's all shut down. They can't touch me. They can't talk to me. And they're going to have to deal with me and the court gesture for the next 5 years. And it's absolutely not what I want. That's where I'm talking about my integrity, because I believe in living up to my word, being honest, doing the right thing. has got me into the position I am today. And I'm dealing with people that do not have those traits, those tendencies, that are bullies, that are out for their self. There's no reason for what's happening to happen except pure greed and the joy of making people miserable. Because they're not going to, and the only one that makes more money is the attorneys. I lose the money, they make the money. Go figure. Well, I'm about had it. Boy, it looks funny. Do I look like the Hunchback of Notre? Where's that shadow coming from? Anyhow, that is the integrity, my integrity. That's what I stand behind with all my heart, my soul, and I back it by my life. And it's costing me a lot of health issues right now. And if they force me into any more stress and into this the bankruptcy and what I'll have to deal with the courts there, which is going to be a tough time because me and authority, that's scary. I won't. They'll be dealing with my estate sooner than later. I think this will be the end. No, I'm not even going to say that. I'm not going to bet against God because if you didn't know it, guys, God's a woman. My God's a woman. She, I've tried suicide off and on all my life, and she just wouldn't let me do it. And as I became an adult and tried suicide, attempted suicide, she absolutely would not let me do it because she wasn't done screwing with me. She's still toiling with me and gonna make me suffer and for as long as she wants to play the game and I don't have a choice. And would you shut up? I'm tired of phones, I'll tell you. Okay, so that's you guys have a great day. Today's either the start or the end of mine. And it's all up to a bank that is going to definitely decide my future. And I wrote a letter to the banker this morning, and it kind of ended on, regardless of what happens, what I have done is what an honest man with integrity does. And I was clever on that. I'll have T-shirts made out of it. But the other type of man that deals in half-truths, deceit, deception, bullying, and lives a miserable life where, as bad as this is, I sleep at night. No, I don't. I can't sleep at night, but I'm not sleeping because of me. I'm sleeping because of all the stress they put me out. But my conscience is clear. Yeah, my conscience is clear. I'm okay with me. I accept that this all has happened, and I have to take the responsibility for it because it's happened due to choices I've made. The choice I made to borrow money from them, choices I made to move up here. It's all stems from my choices, but bad choices shouldn't. Me making a bad choice should not give them license to condemn me and sentence me, and that's what they're doing. So, Harvard State Bank has my life in their hands now, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know what they do. Are they going to be human? Are they going to do the right thing? Or are they going to be money-grubbing launderers and rake me over the coals for no reason? Yeah, We'll see. Thank you for stopping by, and I promise. We won't let it get this. I'll try not to get this desperate sounding again. I have some papers I got to finish up and stuff because all I got to do is have it confirmed that they are going to make that move, that there is an attorney involved in any of these cases, and my papers are filed and they're done. They have to eat their own costs. And because I have informed them of bankruptcy, and they choose to bring the lawyers in and do that work, I'm pretty sure I'd have to reread it. But they get stuck with it anyhow because they forced the bankruptcy. So they become liable. So we'll see. You guys have a great day. And my name's Matthew Braden. This is the Matthew Braden channel. Come back when we're doing As Matt Sees It. That's a little lighter channel, or Living Life Large is hopefully more fun than this. This is reality, my reality, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. You guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, now you want to tell me how to shut this off? I can start it. Live, let's see. Oh no, you're stuck with me. Okay. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, if anybody's listening, this is stage 10, and I'm sure you got a little watermark down here. I got over myself, and if you guys are looking for software, I don't know what they charge for it, but they do have this free bit, and I got on and I'm live, and it's wonderful, and I'm not even touching the surface of what this can do, because you can move screens all over and 4 or 5 cameras. It's pretty impressive, and it's something I can stand. I can kind of learn, so it's kind of like live streaming for dummies if I'm doing it. So if you need it, that is stage 5, and I highly recommend them. If only they put a switch on here. Stop all. Bye. I think you're gone. I am. Leave. 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 How many more of these we got?